quiet on the set? Can we please have quiet on the set?
Today, as we celebrate Memorial Day, spending time with our families and friends. No school or work to go to today. Eating barbecue and having parties. The Casa D-18 Studios and the Jeff Meacham Network wants to acknowledge and not forget the sacrifices made by those who gave their lives for us to enjoy our freedoms. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, all gave some gave all. Some stood true for the red, white, and blue, and some had to fall. And if you ever think of me, think of all your liberties and recall, some gave all.
Y'all live, brother. Go ahead.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the relaunch of Renegade Recap here on the Casa D-18 Studios channel. Man, it feels good to be back doing this, Jeff. What about you?
I am excited. I'm looking forward to the fact that I actually watched all these movies and I got to watch all the reviews. So it was a good month, Tater. What can I say?
Well, thank you then for all those, view hours, Starting to sound like a broken record here, how I talked about in the end about trying to get those, up in the algorithm and whatnot. We're doing good though. I cannot lie. We dropped down a little bit, but we're still over 1,000. That's the first step. We're quarter of the way there.
Yes.
Quarter of the way there. We were under 900 for a good chunk of the month, and just recently we've surpassed 1,000. So we just got to keep going because we got to get to 4,000 hours of channel views within a year. So from May 30th, 2021 to May 30th, 2022. That's what YouTube looks at.
Exactly.
So just got to keep it pushing.
There we go.
But I appreciate you watching the reviews and supporting. I appreciate all the fans out there that watch the reviews and support. I do got to say, and it's a little nitpick, but I feel like we're out of place here. I feel like we need to swap.
Well, I only kept you over there because the logo's over there. I don't have a curtain ready to do this shit.
That's fair. Okay.
Otherwise, I'd be like, yeah.
I didn't think about that. Okay.
Well, because we are exclusively here on the Casa D-18 Studios today, so I didn't want to, get all. Well, it's not my channel. Yeah. So.
Okay. But anyways,
I fix for next time. It's okay. You go ahead with your show.
Over the month of May, on Renegades Reviews, we paid homage, if you will, to the most electrifying man in all of entertainment.
The whole damn thing.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Of course, he turned 50 years old on the 2nd of May.
Crazy.
Right? What's even crazier is you look at my age and you realize I'm only 5 years younger than him.
Yeah.
On one hand, it's like, man, he hit 50, but the other side of things, it's like, man, I'm not that far off. Like, you almost kind of feel like he should be older, but then it's like 50 is still freaking old. Like, he's still a young man.
No, yeah,
because he does not look his age, nor do I, for the record. I always get that from people, especially when I'm clean shaven and I don't have the goatee. But
no,
nobody thinks that I'm 45 years old. He definitely does not look 50.
No, well, no, because the guy's in the gym, 50 hours a day. So
right?
There is that.
So it's all that Zoa he's drinking, giving him the energy to crush those weights.
Well, he's got to drink his Zoa to freaking offset the freaking tequila.
Right? The Terramana.
That's right. There must have balance in all things, Jay. Yes, all balance in all things.
And the yang.
That's right. That's right. Because that tequila is no joke. You
Oh,
proved it
no.
on the air. So,
Oh,
oh no,
wow.
that was the energy drink. I'm
That
sorry.
was whiskey.
What's that?
That was the whiskey.
That was the
Ooh.
yeah, that's true. Oof.
Oh,
Either way,
geez.
must have balance in life, and you know what? Dwayne has definitely found that balance. He's got he's the most electrifying man in the entertainment. There is no disputing that anymore. There really
Oh,
isn't.
no.
And with the ever-present rumors that he's going to be in Hollywood again on a WWE stage, you know, he's got to stay in game shape because he's going to get up against somebody in God mode if things are proven to be true. So,
Yeah.
got to keep on game.
It'll be God versus demigod.
Ha! And yes, we will be saying you're welcome if we get to cover that show. Good Lord. My goodness.
Oh, yes.
And Scott's here. Hello, Scott. Good to see you,
One
sir.
of my biggest supporters since I've come back. I think
Yes.
Scott has watched every single episode, left a comment on every single episode that I have done since the relaunch.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Scott, for being here. He has donated to us.
Yes.
Super chatted so that he could get that copy of Fast 7 with the Spanish language cover.
Completely unnecessarily, and we love him for it. You know?
Which you know, I said I was going to mail today, but then I remembered it was Memorial Day and the post office is closed. So, you know, it'll get out in the mail either tomorrow or Wednesday, Scott. I know you messaged me saying no rush, but I will definitely get it out over the next couple of days.
That's right. Mailing today is unpatriotic, damn it. So
apparently he fell asleep last night during the pay-per-view watch along with it being 2:30 his time. You know, thank you for staying with us for as long as you did. We did not go off the air until 3 a.m. East Coast time, midnight our time. Yeah. Needless to say, I got a few cross-eyed stares this morning for having been in here as long as I had, but thankfully everything was understood.
That is one of the burdens of being the executive producer is you get the texts about noise levels throughout the county. So that was fun. Anyway.
But we had a great month here of Dwayne Johnson movies. You know, the first week we started with quite possibly his holy trinity when it came to his breaking ground in Hollywood.
Yes.
You know, The Scorpion King, The Rundown, and Walking Tall. Those three movies very much defined his early career in Hollywood. And was he going to end up getting typecast as the next big action hero, or was he going to be more?
Yes. And I said when you were talking about this month, I said as we were going along that I absolutely love those three movies he started out with. I mean, The Scorpion King, it had not necessarily huge shoes to fill because it was stepping into basically a established horror franchise as far as the Mummy being part of that Universal Monsters legacy, if you will. Yeah. Scorpion King did bang up business. You figure, you know, it set a record for April at the time back in 2002. So it did great business on that front. You had The Rundown and Walking Tall, both of which were just so good and so funny, yet still filled with action and all the things that you would expect nowadays in a Dwayne Johnson movie. So very, very well done. And it was great to see that kick off the month you did. So good stuff early on, and great stuff from you early on as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, you sit back and you take a look at him in The Mummy Returns and how maybe 5 minutes of screen time and one line was all it took to launch a 20-year Hollywood career that gave more than enough movies for me to go through and cover for this month.
Without a sequel, almost.
With plenty to spare.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, if I had still been doing the 30 movies a month, it would have been a little bit tighter because of all the sequels and franchises. You know, it's hard to get in there and do Fast 5, 6, 7, 8 if you haven't done 1 through 4 yet.
Right. Exactly.
You know, it's hard to do G.I. Joe 2 if you haven't covered the original. It's hard to do Journey 2 if you haven't covered the original. So by eliminating those, kind of became a little bit tricky to try to do 30.
Right?
It was still doable,
Oh yeah.
but it was going to be trickier. So it's kind of glad that it got cut down the way it did, because now there's movies to spare.
Never a bad thing.
No, the second week of Rock movies, we got into a completely different side of Rocky. We got a little bit away from the action hero,
Yes.
and we got a little bit more into the comedic side of Dwayne Johnson with Be Cool, Get Smart, and the Tooth Fairy.
Which,
And
yeah, go ahead.
Be
Sorry.
Cool, I still say, is The Rock's defining movie. That is why it is my number one when we did our top 10 Dwayne Johnson films here on Dad's Not Always on Wrestling. Be Cool totally showed Dwayne's diversity.
It really did.
Being able to go from being action star to insanely lovable comedic character while still being tough. I mean, to have The Rock play a gay bodyguard, that's big for him, coming
Back
from the
then,
world of
especially.
pro wrestling, where, if we're being honest, a world where oiled up men wrestle around in their underwear. And a lot of people already kind of think of that as being gay.
Yeah,
To
especially
then
back in.
going and being that character, Hunter said in interviews that is when he knew The Rock was going to make it in Hollywood.
Yes, I remember that.
When he did that role and just crushed it, because you couldn't take your eyes off of him, even in that all-star cast. John
Right?
Travolta, Uma Thurman, Harvey Keitel, Danny DeVito, Vince Vaughn, Cedric the Entertainer. And like I said when we did the list, it was the launching point, really, if you will, for Dwayne, Andre 3000, and Christina Milian.
And when you think about it, it itself was a sequel that I dare say did better than the first one to Get Shorty.
Agreed. To this day, I still have not seen Get Shorty.
Oh man, that's something you add to your list over here. But Be Cool is that. There you go. But Be Cool is honestly better for me, for my money.
Yeah, that's what I hear from a lot of people. Let me see here. From there, we went to a little bit more dramatic side of The Rock. We took a look at Snitch, Pain and Gain, and San Andreas.
Dramatic and action, both. Goodness.
Yeah, I mean, definitely action-packed, but a lot more action drama than action comedy.
Without a doubt.
Because all three of those movies, there were like serious high stakes in.
There were, without a doubt.
Such great stuff, and none of those movies I had seen before. That was another great thing about doing this is, there were movies here and there, but that whole week was stuff that I had never seen before.
Which San Andreas, I had the chance to see in the theaters when it came out, which I forgot how long ago that was until I was like, God damn, a long time ago. Holy crap. I mean, length is relative. Let's not kid ourselves. But, for as isolated and shit as we've been the last 2 years, anything past 2 seems like a long time ago at this point. So,
in a galaxy far, far away, but we'll get to that later.
Well, it is coming, yes. And I agree with Cece about Get Shorty. We got to rectify that immediately. I co-sign with the lady 100%.
Well, me and her were kind of talking, slightly off topic. We were kind of talking about other people we could do months for, and John Travolta is definitely somebody that came up. So,
oh yeah,
that can definitely be thrown into a John Travolta month somewhere down the road.
There you go. I'm all right. I am never just gonna disagree with having a John Travolta month in any capacity on anybody's channel.
As long as it means Grease, right?
Yep. Although you have your musical month, and do you really do musicals without Grease? I don't.
No.
So
No, you don't.
I definitely don't.
Especially since it's one of the few that I can seriously tolerate.
Yeah, I can watch Grease in musicals. I can watch Grease I can watch Grease on Tuesday, whatever. I should. I'll turn on right now after we're done here. But then ask Dad to do it 4 o'clock.
No, you won't. Let's be honest. You're going to watch Raw. You'll turn it on after Raw.
If we didn't ask the dads to do after we were done here, I would turn on Grease because it just fits. So
there you go. Let's see
anyway,
here. After that, we had a little bit of a hodgepodge because we had Central Intelligence, the original pairing of him and Kevin Hart.
Oh, jeez.
We had the video game turned movie. No, not Doom. We didn't do that to you. Rampage.
Yes, much better.
And then we had another action drama in Skyscraper.
Which I saw with Dylan in the theaters, and that was good. Anyway, carry on.
You know, again, the only one, Skyscraper is the only one out of those I had never seen before. Because Central Intelligence, I definitely had seen. And Rampage, I had seen once before. You know, Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson, when you first see them side by side, they look like the complete odd couple. You know, but then you get them in the movie together, and they're peanut butter and jelly, man.
Yes. So good.
You know, they just work together so well. And you figure from then, they've got the Jumanji movies that they did. There's the DC League of Super Pets that they're going to be in together. And just try and imagine those two in animated form.
With Dwayne as Superman's dog. That's
And John Krasinski as Superman.
Right?
Okay, the man who was Reed Richards in Multiverse of Madness is going to be Superman. And Batman is Keanu freaking Reeves.
Right? You talk about a multiverse of madness. Jeez, look, people crossing over the different universes is driving me mad.
You know, it thankfully Keanu has that voice, and he's far enough removed from Ted Theodore Logan that it's not going to sound so off-putting. But could you just imagine, Kal-El, dude? No,
swear to me,
Keanu.
That was Rick Ellis and Rick Ellis alone.
But you know, such amazing stuff. And then you think of all the stuff that we haven't gotten to. You know, immediately following this show, Red Notice is going to premiere on the channel. That's the last one to do for this month. But then you think about all the stuff that I haven't even touched yet of The Rock's. We've got the Jungle Cruise. We've got Moana. We've got the Fast movies, like I said. We've got the other G.I. Joe movie. We've got Journey 2, which will be coming to once we get into next month, because we'll be doing movies with only one sequel. We'll get more into that in a little bit. But you think about all the stuff. You've got Southland Tales. You do have Doom there that we can get to somewhere down the road. Hey, like I always tell my lady, and I know she's in the chat room, so she can back me up on this. Every movie you review can't be Citizen Kane. You've got to review the crap as well. And you've got to look at it from an objective standpoint.
In my defense.
You know, I've seen Doom once. I saw Doom when it first came out. So it's probably been a good 20 years since I've sat through it.
Okay.
All I can recall enjoying from the movie was the one scene that actually emulated the game, where they went to first person mode and you saw what they were seeing as they were moving around, much like the game. But like I said, I haven't seen it in 20 years, so I need to see it again. I need to be able to fresh eyes. Go ahead.
Fresh eyes I will agree with. But as far as the objective point of view, you have to keep in mind, when I did see Doom when it came out, I wasn't so anti-Dwayne yet. So it wasn't like I was looking at it from the friend of John Cena's point of view. Because if I looked at that, I probably would have thrown the DVD in the trash. Let's not even front on that. So it's I remember it being god awful. I will watch it with you. The minute you schedule it, I will watch it to watch your review and be objective as humanly possible. And yes, CC, we all do wish they were all Citizen Kane. However, for every Citizen Kane, there is Battlefield Earth, right, John Travolta?
For every Grease, there was Grease 2.
You know what? I am not going
I
to
still
stand for
haven't
this.
seen it. I still haven't seen it, so I can't be too critical about it.
Hey,
I'm just going off of what I've heard. For every Rocky Horror Picture Show, there's a shock treatment.
that one I can agree with you on, and you know I can. Better than damn near anybody in your circle.
Except for maybe my woman over here.
Well, but did Cece ever actually be part of a cast that shadow casted both movies? Because oh my god,
no, she was never part of the shadow cast.
God bless her for dodging that bullet. As far as shock treatment goes, Rocky Horror always Rocky Horror, but yeah, shadow casting shock treatment was an adventure. As was shock, and like I wasn't part of the cast that shadow casted Grease 2, which was the same cast by the way. But oh yeah, Grease 2 is what it is. It's not exactly the word. It's more like the side consonant over here somewhere. But it is what it is. It is a cult classic for a reason. It's definitely better than friggin' shock treatment. But yeah, anyway, we're back off into the weeds as we do.
You know, and then we also had, aside from the rock stuff, we had the soft grand reopening where I covered The Lost City and Uncharted.
Yes.
We had the unbearable weight of massive talent, the Nick Cage film.
Yeah.
We had Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And then just this past weekend, we had Senior Year, the Netflix original movie, go live.
Yeah, I saw that you put that up. I had not. Was that you said that was a Netflix original?
Yeah, it just premiered a couple weeks ago with Rebel Wilson.
Oh, that's right, the one with Rebel. That's okay. Yeah, I'll have to. I still have to watch that. Watch your review. That's right.
And then there's a brief cameo towards the end by '90s icon Alicia Silverstone.
Because why not? With Alicia Silverstone, she got to do something, right? So
hey, you figure the movie began in the '90s and then kind of spiraled from there. So who better to be that iconic figure from the '90s than Alicia Silverstone, the girl from the Aerosmith videos, Cher from Clueless. We won't talk about Batman and Robin, but you know.
Well, yeah, like you said, the movie started in the '90s and spiraled from there, kind of like her career, and that's okay. That's okay.
Damn, that was harsh, Meacham.
Hey, you don't even want to talk about and you know, and that was late '90s itself. After that, what did she do? Besides Charlie's Angels, I think. No, exactly. You can't think what the hell she did. Bang, bang, boom. I'm just saying what I said.
If I remember correctly, I do believe she went to Criminal Minds for a couple seasons.
That sounds accurate, actually. I won't swear by that, though.
Yeah, I'm not going to swear by that either. But I think.
You know what? I will give Alicia a little bit of love because I adore Blast from the Past, and people shit on that movie, and I love it. So, which also features somebody else we're going to talk about in a couple days. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes. No, I'm wrong on that. Okay.
That's what it was. Excess bag. I knew it was something else, but yeah, definitely. But again, Blast from the Past also 1999. So after the 90s, yeah.
Yes.
Loved her in Clueless. Love the Aerosmith video. Can tolerate her portion of, but yeah.
Fair. So for those two of you that are in the chat room,
which we appreciate you both. We love you.
Yes. What was your favorite film that I covered this month? You know, because I know Scott watched all of them. tuned in, supported me. Cece, I saw half of these movies with her. The ones that were the new releases anyway were movie dates that we did.
Yes, yes.
And I know she's seen a good chunk, if not all, of the Rock movies.
Yes.
What were the favorites that I covered this month? Kind of curious about that.
That's like I said, you covered a lot of ground and a lot of diversity within his filmography, even in the half of the month you actually had Rock movies. So I honestly, for me, as we wait for the chat room to answer, for me, my favorite still goes back to Walking Tall. I know we talked about our top movies earlier in the month, but I like having a chance to go back and watch all of them again after we did that show, because we did that was one we did in the first part of the month. So I've had a chance to go back and rewatch everything again. I love Walking Tall still. The Rundown is still hysterical to me, but I think Walking Tall is one of those. As much as I enjoyed Be Cool because it showed his range, I think Walking Tall for me, I enjoyed Walking Tall for a very specific reason. It just clicked to me. People were shitting on it so bad, critic-wise, when it first released, and I went out there anyway and spent, even for back then, theater money, which was not inexpensive even back then, and I enjoyed the shit out of that movie. I really did. And I was like, you know what? Or I don't even know if anyone of them are live at this point, but Siskel and Ebert and whoever else, stick it up your ass. This is a fun movie. It's a kick-ass movie. Piss off. It was so funny and so good.
Here we go in the chat room. Scott says Pain and Gain and Central Intelligence.
Both good choices.
And CC says a toss-up between The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent and Rampage.
And again, look at the range in those comments alone with Dwayne.
Well, Unbearable Weight is the Nick Cage movie. That was one of the new movies.
Right. But even still, you got Rampage, which is heavily action with a little bit of haha because it's a video game movie. Pain and Gain, which is very dramatic. And then Central Intelligence, which is him and Kevin Hart. I was going to mention earlier with Kevin Hart, him and Dwayne are everything that movie executives wanted Arnold and Danny DeVito to be.
Yeah.
I mean, like, for real. They did Twins and they did Junior. That was it, really. That really hit home with those two guys. Dwayne and Kevin have been consistently working together since Central Intelligence.
Yeah. So. Dare I say, and this would be a bold statement. Okay, hot take of the year right here.
Boop, here we go.
Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson are the modern day Abbott and Costello, Laurel and Hardy, Martin and Lewis.
And on
very
top of
easily
that,
put them in with that category as far as comedic duos go, because whatever they touch turns to gold.
And while they are comedic for the majority of their time on screen together, they can still get heavy, like dramatic, like, unbearable weight, level, Abbott and Costello, as funny as they were and as legendary as they are, never really got the dramatic stuff going for my money. Nor did Martin and Lewis, and nor I missed the third. Laurel Hardy, again, legendary, and Aaron would rake me across the coals for this one, but they never diversified from straight comedy. Whereas Dwayne and Kevin can definitely go out of that zone when necessary. I mean, God, even as fun and as funny as Jumanji is, there's some serious heavy shit, particularly in the first that they did together, because they're dealing with the loss of Robin, the loss of the character Alan, and just all of that goes in it. And then they're still dealing with their own internal stuff that the people that are inhabiting the characters are trying to work through in those personas. So again, Kevin and Dwayne being the modern day those teams, I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's a damn accurate take. And let's see. And again, Kevin and they're made for each other without a doubt. And CC's agreeing with you that, you guys talked about that, the fact that they were what they were. And she also pointed out the Unbearable Weight's not The Rock, but it was so good. It was
because we saw that and Multiverse the same day.
Jeez, that's a heavy day, brother.
we saw Multiverse first because Unbearable Weight was already starting to phase out of the theaters, so it had less screenings. So we saw Multiverse first, and then we go into Unbearable Weight, and it's like, there is no way this is going to be able to be as good as Multiverse of Madness. Like, we should have seen these the other way around. But
Right?
then we walked out of it. We were like, okay, maybe it wasn't maybe it wasn't better than, but it was definitely like funny enough to be like near the level,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
near to where we weren't regretting it anymore,
No.
having seen them in the other order.
Right. It's funny you mentioned we were talking earlier about the multiverse crossovers. I didn't realize it until well into toward the end of when this character was assessed on screen. I forget the character name. Forgive me, Marvel fans. The one that didn't talk and only opened his mouth to cause the Sonic thing that wiped out. Was trying to wipe out the bad guy.
Black Bolt.
Yeah, that's Captain Pike on the new Star Trek series.
There you go.
So Star Trek and Marvel again. It's like, y'all stop it. Making my head hurt. And the same scene with Professor X / Captain Picard. Can we all just stop this, please? Anyway. Damn it. Anyway. Too much Trek up in my shit outside of the damn Roddenberry verse. Y'all drive me crazy. Off topic, but Scott wants to know when we're going to get a JJ review of the best movie ever. Norbit, damn it all.
I in all seriousness, I am working on an Eddie Murphy month down the road here somewhere. That's definitely on the to-do list when it comes to Eddie Murphy, because again, they all can't be Beverly Hills Cop.
No, or two.
You can't. They can't all be the Nutty Professor.
Or two.
They've got to have your Norbits. You've got to have the Haunted Mansions, which I love the Haunted Mansion Eddie Murphy movie. Let me not take anything away from it, but I know a lot of people crap on it. Much like the prequel series, Mr. Meacham, you have to look at it as testing waters. Without Jar Jar, we couldn't have had what Yoda did in episodes 2 and 3.
I have reconciled with
Without
Jar Jar.
the Country Bears, without the Haunted Mansion, we could not have gotten to the glory that was Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't like you for that.
I had to work out the kinks and the bugs. I love all those movies. We all know my affinity for the Country Bears. I enjoy the Haunted Mansion movie. I look at them for what they are.
I am
they took
actually
the attraction. They tried to make a movie for it, and how are they going to adapt it as such? And they worked the kinks and the bugs out, and then we got to Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean, and all bets were off.
I do detest the Haunted Mansion movie with Eddie Murphy. I'm not even going to try to sugarcoat that. I'm kind of surprised that you immediately liked the Country Bears movie. And again, we're going off topic here for a minute, but I've had to grow to like that, because as much as you love to this day the Country Bears attraction that, they never should have taken away from us, you sons of bitches, you here in Anaheim. It was a big, giant reach to connect it for me to the movie. I've, again, living with you, living with your children, everything like that. If your family has been able to enable me to see it through a different perspective, through a different lens, if you will. But upon initial release, I was like, no. Whereas Haunted Mansion, I did see more of the connection. The initial story of Haunted Mansion with the bride thing, again, it was a 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon to get that into the movie. Like, it was kind of all over the place. And even Pirates. Pirates is what it is as an attraction. Johnny Depp's story and Captain Jack's story was later woven into the attraction itself, because the attraction is very much a standalone, self-contained thing. But making more than one Pirates movie, if okay, well, we need to do something to connect the dots here. People are going to be like, I don't understand the similarities. So even there, they had to kind of make everything cohesive again. So
Yes.
I don't disagree with the Pirates movies being awesome, just keeping things in perspective, that Disney felt they had to connect the ride back to the movie after the fact. Whereas Mansion, they didn't even try to alter it. Like, Eddie's going to do Eddie, whatever, whatever. Same with Country Bears.
It's fair. It's fair. Well, before we move on to what is to come next month, Jeff, why don't you go ahead and hit the trailer real quick?
Yes, sir. Cue it up. No, wrong direction there, Slick. Here's what's to come beginning Wednesday on the Casa D-18 Studios.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Movies with only one sequel. Wednesday, we're going to kick it off with Journey to the Center of the Earth with Brendan Fraser and Josh Hutcherson. Carrying over to Friday, we're going to go back to Dwayne Land, back to the world of The Rock with Journey to the Mysterious Island. Dwayne Johnson, Josh Hutcherson is back. The only real connecting link between the two movies, then you got Vanessa Hudgens, Luis Guzman, Michael Caine. Starting the following week, we've got Monday and Wednesday, Wayne's World and Wayne's World 2.
Excellent.
Mike Myers and Dana Carvey. Such good movies. I actually had my daughter watch Wayne's World with me, and
Nice.
afterwards she was like, "What in the shit did you just have me watch?"
It sounds like Natalie.
She just did not get the humor within it.
It is such a 90s movie, like not even gonna lie. But you know what? So is her beloved Sandlot. Let's not
Exactly.
So are the Ducks. I mean, come on,
Exactly.
man.
Yeah. She's so into The Outsiders right now that I figured with Rob Lowe being there that she would kind of enjoy it, but she just did not get it whatsoever. Throw the graphic back up there. After that, we've got the Young Guns and Young Guns 2.
Yes.
Had her sit there and watch those with me as well. She enjoyed the first one more than the second one, which surprises me because more people tend to enjoy part 2 over part 1.
Okay.
One of the few where more people tend to enjoy the sequel over the original, but to each their own. You know, as we always say over on the dad's shows, subjective. Wednesday and Friday that week, we've got the National Treasure series, you know, the original and then Book of Secrets. And I made a small discovery about the original National Treasure, Jeff. I don't know if you know this or not.
Well, considering I just watched it with my sister and her family very recently, I'm curious.
Everything was filmed pretty much on location at their respective locations, except for one scene in the original.
My guess would be. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Your guess would be?
The actual Declaration of Independence.
Which part?
The part where they actually go in there and steal it, because they wouldn't get within a mile of that place.
Well, right. That's a soundstage, but I'm talking about other stuff.
Okay, go ahead.
When the Declaration returns to Independence Hall.
Yeah. Oh.
That's the Independence Hall at Knott's Berry Farm.
So
we need to add that to our list of movie locations to go and do a little blip it at to
Gee,
add to all the other stuff that we've shot footage for and hasn't aired yet.
I guess I'll suck it up and go back to Independence Hall in Buena Park because Lord knows I haven't want to take the boy to that for 10 years or whatever. I will make that sacrifice, Jay. I will go and I will enjoy myself in spite of myself. Darn it.
And after doing that, maybe we'll just make a small trip across the street and see Snoopy in the gang.
I mean, hey, most of us have passes anyway. What the shit? Why not? Anyway,
But yeah,
back to
I thought that was interesting because
but
that's actually one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie when they unroll it there
so, yeah.
inside of Independence Hall and Nick Cage kind of takes that breath for a moment. And I think it's Riley's like, what's up? And he's like, last time it was here, it was being signed.
Yeah.
Like that's one of my favorite moments in the whole movie. So to think that's Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah. I love you pointed that out because I could never convince certain members of the audience that it was worth going over there of how realistic it was. Bubba, you're not watching this now, but you will later. I call your bullshit. Right in now.
Anyway. And then we go back to some more video games. We've got Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Now, this is definitely a case where the original is superior to the sequel. The sequel, put it to you this way. In my personal opinion, the best part about the sequel is that Ray Park does stunts.
Right.
For Raiden.
Yes.
The man who would go on to be Darth Maul does Raiden's stunts. That's the best part of the movie.
But wait a second, JJ. There was another Mortal Kombat movie not too long ago. How can there only be one sequel?
It's not part of the same timeline.
Oh, that's right. Anyway.
And then we've got, rounding out the month, we've got Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2. And there is one day that is open there, the 29th. Now, I haven't committed 100% yet, but I am currently debating in my mind about making that a double feature day. That way I can still get a movie with only one sequel and just throw them both on the same day, as I've done in the past when I've done an original and a remake.
So what you're telling me is you're not 100%, so there is still question.
There is a question.
Aha, very good. Okay, very good. If you understand that reference, you've been watching for a year. Thank you. We appreciate your patience. Thank you.
What that is coming up in the next month are you guys looking forward to? Is it the action and adventure of the Journey series? Is it the slapstick comedy of Wayne and Garth? Is it the trip to the Wild Wild West for Young Guns and Young Guns 2? Is it the historical aspects of National Treasure and the Book of Secrets? Is it the video game martial arts contained within Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat Annihilation? Or is it the random superhero-ness of Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2? One of the things I love about Kick-Ass, and I know I'll get more in depth into it when I cover it, the two men that play Quicksilver are both in the movie as best friends.
Right.
The guy within the MCU and the guy in the Fox universe with the X-Men movies. Both of them are in that movie. Both of them play Quicksilver. Hilarious.
And the thing I remember most about Quicksilver is that I wasn't even a Marvel fan. I didn't know who Quicksilver was, but damn it, he was Scorpio Sky's greatest partner for a long time.
That's right. And if
when
you
they still wore masks,
then you're a Cali local and you went to Pro Wrestling Guerrilla.
That's right. And if you didn't understand that reference, you can come to the forum on Wednesday and Sky will explain it to your ass while he's holding that ridiculous title that he still owns. Damn it. Yeah, buddy.
DC is looking forward to the random superhero violence. Wahaha.
Wahaha. Maniacal laugh. Oh, wait, sorry. That's Muppets.
Right.
Sorry. We already did that shit. Yes, I will say this. Now that we're actually talking about going to Independence Hall, I'm looking for National Treasure just because I actually want to see that scene now and go, that was right.
Yep. Scott, if you're with us still, what are you looking forward to? And we posed the question before we get to the plugs and wrapping up here. What stuff would you like to see covered on future episodes of Renegades Reviews? Is there a new release movie that's come out that you'd like to see me cover? Is there something you know that's going to be coming out that you want me to try to pencil in to make sure I see? Do you have an idea for a theme month? Be it a specific actor or actress, or something like musicals, or another month of trilogies, baseball movies. These are all things that I've already been kind of working around in the head, but I'm curious what you guys would like to see. Let us know.
Well, you know one thing you're
And
covering for sure.
what? Yes, Red
Just a few
Notice.
minutes.
Yes, at the top of the hour, my final official Dwayne Johnson review for Dwayne Johnson month, Red Notice, starring him, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot. Should be a good one if you have not seen it. And then immediately following that, Ask the Dads will be live, both here on the Casa D-18 Studios channel, as well as on the Jeff Meacham Network. And if you want to throw that little scroll back up along the bottom,
Yes.
don't forget, if we get to $400 in donations, whether it's super chats or sent to either of the two PayPals, between today and the end of the month, somebody will be taking clippers to my hair. I'm not going to pick it, but I will take clippers to the hair, and all of this hair that is on my head will be gone. And despite being 45 years old, I've still got exponentially more on my head than Jeff Meacham does. Jeff taking clippers to his head wouldn't be a big deal.
Leads to accidents like this, which is why I'm wearing a hat. Where'd it go? There it is. Which is where I'm wearing a hat more often than I have been here lately, because I made a big old freaking divot in my freaking hairline there. So
Scott wants to know how much we need for that again.
shit.
$400.
400 total, Scott. Don't go ape shit on us or anything.
I know that it sounds like it's a lot, but the reason it's going to be a lot is because this time Jeff and I are actually splitting the money.
Yes.
I am getting a chunk of it because I'm not monetized yet. I'm getting a chunk of that because I'm the one that's actually putting something on the line. Jeff will get whatever is left over from YouTube because of the way they eat it. That's why we put the PayPals up there as alternatives. If you donate it to the PayPals, YouTube doesn't eat any of the money, and we actually get the legitimate amounts.
Right.
Whereas if you donate $100 to the super chats, they end up taking like 40 or 50 bucks of that.
Yeah. I found out the exact amount not too long ago, and even at 30%, that's still a lot of damn money I'm losing for no damn good reason.
Yeah.
I really.
Did you throw the one that CC set up there? Things our parents watched as kids, the top-rated movies before 1970. That's an interesting one. I've definitely been contemplating doing like a, for lack of a better term, Turner Classic Movies Month, and doing things like, Casablanca, The Grapes of Wrath, things like that. Pride of the Yankees, White Heat. Things along those lines. So that could definitely be an interesting thing to do.
I'd be curious on your take of Gone with the Wind, and I say that because my mother, that's one of the movies that she will, if we had a VCR still, would pop out her 2-volume VHS, which is how long that freaking movie is, and watch it anytime she felt like it, because it's one of the greatest things ever. And when you think about the fact that movie was made and released the same year as The Wizard of Oz, and by the same director, because the direction of, I forget which one ended up getting so crazy, but yeah, Victor Hugo had to do both of them because the production on one of them had gotten so ape shit that, yeah, the same mind behind both those movies. Just crazy.
Yeah.
So I love to hear we all know your love of all things Emerald City. I'm not even going to try to dispute that shit, obviously, at this point in the game after 15 plus years. But I'd love to hear your taking on with the wind if you ever do that.
Okay. Definitely something to consider. Michael threw up a good one. No, I can't do an entire month of Indiana Jones, but I have considered doing a month of franchises
Yes.
and being able to cover all the movies in the Fast saga, all the movies in the Harry Potter saga, all the films in the Indiana Jones saga. Sitting through and doing, God help me, the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies. Because those are franchises. You've got the 3 Hobbit movies and then the 3 Lord of the Rings movies that continue the story on. Same thing with Harry Potter. I can do the Fantastic Beasts, which are sort of prequels, and then go into the Potter stories.
Yeah.
There's so many franchises out there without even diving into horror, because I already do 31 Days of Horror every month for October. But there's so many franchises out there that I can examine and do. So that's something I've definitely contemplated on, Michael.
I love to see it personally. Oh, wait,
Cece says she'll hold my hand through Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit.
Yeah, check his damn pulse through it. Hell, hold his hand. Make sure he's got a heartbeat after 18 hours of freaking walking.
The irony of that all is that the one time I saw Fellowship of the Ring was in theaters with her.
I was gonna say.
Granted, after I had done a graveyard shift at work.
Yes.
But it was the first showing at the theaters with her, and I fell asleep during the movie. And that's part of why I never watched it again. I was like, man, if these movies are not entertaining enough to keep me awake, I'm not going to do it again.
With your woman's on a date with you at the show, no less, and you still can't stay. Yeah, no, it ain't worth nobody's damn time.
But like we said earlier, about Doom, fresh eyes, new perspective. That was like 20 years ago. Gotta give it another chance. You got the Pirates franchise we just touched on. That's something that can be worked into a franchise month. Although I've kind of been kicking in my head and I need to do a little bit more plotting and planning. Attractions turned movies month. And do
there was
Tower
that.
of
I was in my
Terror
brain when you
movie.
said that.
Do the Tower of Terror movie. Do Dinosaur. Do Country Bears. Do Haunted Mansion. Do Pirates. Do Jungle Cruise.
Yes. There was that. I know it's going to sound sacrilege presenting it to you, so forgive me in advance. We always do Christmas or holiday something movies, or at least you do on your channel for December. We're already doing the Disney soundtrack stuff as it is on Dad's that month.
Yes,
Cece mentioned movies.
Looking forward to that.
Oh, God, no, not even going to front. That's going to be a mega production, but worth every damn minute of it. Excuse me, all the hell. And that will be pre-taped. I'm not doing that shit live. That's gonna be too crazy to get everybody together at the same time. But you can, if you were so inclined, you can work CC's suggestion as far as movies our parents watched as kids or grew up watching. There's a lot in that Disney soundtrack library that happened before 1976 and 1983, for the record.
True.
Synergy, we can all tie it together. So there is that.
I have not thought about a foreign franchise month.
Yeah.
The Godzilla movies would be interesting to cover, but I don't know what more I would be able to do after that. I'm not really well versed in foreign films. Aside from maybe doing Godzilla and finding some of the kung fu films from the 70s.
Right.
The ones that inspired a lot of the Wu-Tang Clan members and their songs and whatnot.
Which are,
I'm not really
yeah.
sure what I could get into that would be entertaining for me to do a whole month of and be entertaining enough for the audience to want to tune in too. That's the key. I know my girlfriend knows. I know this.
I'm gonna go.
The key is putting up stuff that the audience will be entertained with as well. That's why I'm not opposed to doing a movie like Doom or Shock Treatment or Grease 2 or even something like Geely that has been crapped on worldwide by critics, because there's those people out there that either still love those movies because they're so bad they're good, or they just enjoy the actors contained within them enough to tune into a 20-minute review of it without having to sit through the hour and a half movie.
Very true. Very true. That's a great point.
But getting that same audience to tune into a 20-minute review about a foreign film that they've never heard of could be a little bit trickier.
Yeah. Definitely more of a niche market that may not necessarily fit within your wheelhouse.
Yes.
Let me get back to this real quick.
Yes.
Don't
Go
hold
ahead and
his
then we'll
hand.
start wrapping things up.
Yeah. Don't hold his hand, CC. IV injection of Mountain Dew. Just throwing it out there. Keep his ass awake.
Rad
Coffee. Kona Blend. Kona Blend is the man's friend, just to get him through the suffering and the pain. Good Lordy. All right. You've got a
At the
shit ton
top
of
of the
stuff coming
hour.
up. So
Yes,
what's
at
that?
the top of the hour,
Yes.
immediately following this, don't forget Red Notice right here on the Casa D-18 Studios channel. Dwayne Johnson, Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds. Immediately at the top of the following hour, 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern, Ask the Dads, both here on the Casa D-18 Studios and the Jeff Meacham Network. Plus everything else coming over the course of the month. Journey to the Center of the Earth on Wednesday. The Kenobi, we didn't even get to that. Going to be covering the Kenobi series
I was
beginning
going to do that graphic
Thursday
next.
the 2nd. Journey to the Mysterious Island on Friday. The Rescue Rangers movie that I'm wearing the shirt for will be on Saturday. Warzone on Sunday. Plus WWE NXT in Your House coverage next Saturday with myself and the Simple Man, Noah Foster doing commentary. Plus, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham, providing his reactions and thoughts. The PLE on Sunday for WWE Hell in a Cell, or as we are calling it here on the channels, the Red Crate of Hate.
We'll talk more about that during Dad's, but yeah.
So much going on in the next week. Scott, thank you for the love of the Warzone. I see you, like I said, I see you commenting on every episode that goes up. Greatly appreciate it. We will see you guys live here in just about an hour for Ask the Dads. Make sure you stay tuned for Red Notice. For the West Coast Professor, I am the Renegade JJ Williams. We'll catch you next time.